You know that feeling. That tension deep in your shoulders. A knot that won't unwind. The tightness in your jaw when you're not even angry. Just bracing yourself. It's the low, constant hum of an engine running in the background of your mind. The engine of resistance. It's the soundtrack to so many of our lives. And it whispers over and over again, this shouldn't be happening. This is wrong. It should be different. We wake up with it. We go to sleep with it. We carry it into conversations, into our jobs, into our relationships. It's the feeling of constantly pushing against a door that is locked from the other side. We think if we just push harder, with more force, with more anger or frustration, it will eventually give way. But it never does. We just get more tired. Our muscles ache. Our spirit gets worn down. This feeling is the signature of a fundamental misunderstanding, a deep-seated argument we are having, not with a person or a situation, but with reality itself. And it's an argument we can never, ever win. Imagine you step outside and it begins to rain. A sudden, unexpected downpour. You have no umbrella, you're miles from home, and you're wearing your best clothes. The initial reaction is frustration. But then, imagine you do something strange. You stand there on the pavement as the water soaks through your shirt and plasters your hair to your face, and you begin to argue with the rain. You yell at the clouds, "Stop it! I didn't plan for this. The forecast said sunny. This is completely unfair." What does the rain do? Does it listen? Does it apologise and retreat back into the clouds? Of course not. The rain is a force of nature. It is the result of a million complex interactions of temperature, pressure, and moisture that have been building for days, completely indifferent to your plans, your clothes, or your sense of fairness. It just is. The rain doesn't care about your opinion of it. It doesn't have an opinion of you. It is simply an event unfolding within the architecture of how things work. Now, replace the word rain with anything else in your life that you are fighting against. The traffic jam that made you late, the difficult boss who doesn't see your value, the unexpected bill that arrived in the mail, the breakup that you didn't see coming, the way your body is changing as you get older. These things are the rain. They are the result of countless invisible connections and causes, a complex weather pattern of life that has converged on this exact moment. And what do? We stand in the downpour, getting soaked to the bone, and we argue with it. We replay the situation in our minds 100 times. We craft the perfect comeback we should have said. We imagine a different reality where the car didn't break down, where the other person understood us, where the opportunity wasn't missed. This internal argument is where we lose ourselves. It's an echo chamber of should have, could have, and if only. It's the mind trying to edit a movie that has already been filmed, distributed, and watched. The event has happened, the rain is falling. The energy we spend arguing with what is immense. Think about it. Think about the sheer volume of your life force, your attention, your precious moments of being alive that are poured into this futile argument. It's the energy you use when you lie awake at night, replaying a mistake. It's the focus you lose during the day, distracted by a grievance. It's the emotional exhaustion you feel after a conversation where you are trying to force someone to be something they are not. All of this energy is being fed into a battle against something that has already occurred, or something that is occurring right now, completely independent of your approval. The river is flowing in one direction, and we're trying with all our might to paddle upstream, not to get anywhere, but just out of principle, because we believe the river should be flowing the other way. We believe our struggle itself is noble. We believe our resistance is what defines our strength. But here is the central paradox, the question that can change everything. Why do we invest all of our energy in fighting what has already happened, or what is happening right now, instead of interacting with it? Why do we choose the exhausting argument over the simple observation? When you stand arguing with the rain, you are not finding shelter. You are not learning how to navigate in the wet streets. You are not feeling the strange beauty of a city washed clean. You are blind to all the possibilities of the present moment, because your entire being is consumed by resisting the fact that it is wet. The resistance doesn't change the reality. It only prevents you from participating in it. It locks you in a prison of your own making, where the only view is the wall of what you don't want. The old way of living, the one most of us were taught, is based on this struggle. It's a blueprint for life that says you must wrestle reality into submission. You must force things to go your way. But as we're all beginning to see, reality is not a thing that can be wrestled with. It's a medium you exist within, like water for a fish or air for a bird. Fighting it is not only pointless, it's a profound misunderstanding of your own nature and the nature of the world you inhabit. Recognizing this pattern is the first step. Just noticing how often you find yourself in that internal argument. Noticing the clenched jaw, the tight shoulders, the repetitive loop of thoughts. You don't need to stop it. You just need to see it. See yourself standing in the rain, shouting at the clouds. And in that moment of pure recognition, without judgment, a little space opens up. A space where a new question can finally be heard. What if I stop arguing? What happens then? By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. So, what happens when you stop arguing with the rain? Nothing spectacular at first. You simply get wet. You feel the cold drops on your skin. You see the world through a shimmering veil of water. In other words, you finally arrive in the moment that is actually happening. And this is where everything changes. Releasing the struggle is not surrender. Surrender implies defeat, giving up, lying down, and letting the world walk all over you. This is the opposite. This is waking up. It's the shift from blind resistance to intelligent observation. A sailor who screams at the wind and tries to row against it will exhaust himself and go nowhere. A sailor who accepts the wind, its direction, its strength, can adjust their sails and use that very same force to carry them across the ocean. They did not defeat the wind. They entered into a partnership with it. This is the mechanic of transformation. When you are fighting reality, your focus is narrow and tight. All of your awareness is consumed by the object of your resistance. The traffic, the difficult person, the painful memory. It's like trying to see a beautiful landscape while staring at a smudge on a window 2 inches from your face. But the moment you accept, okay, the smudge is here, your focus can relax and pull back. You can suddenly see the entire landscape around. The smudge You stop paddling against the current and, for the first time, you look around. You notice the flow of the water. You see an eddy over there where you could rest. You see a branch floating by that you could hold on to. You see a calmer channel near the shore. You were completely blind to moments before. The river hasn't changed. You've stopped being its enemy and started becoming its student. Think of the sheer amount of energy this frees up. The internal argument with reality is the most energy-intensive activity a human being can engage in. It's like running 100 background applications on your phone, all at once, all the time. Your battery is dead by noon. Your mind feels slow and laggy. When you release that struggle, it's like closing all those unnecessary applications. Suddenly, you have a flood of energy and mental clarity you forgot was even possible. This is the energy you can now use to actually live. It's the energy for creativity, for problem solving, for genuine connection with another person, for simply enjoying the feeling of the sun on your skin. Before, all that power was being wasted, fueling a war against what is. Now, it's available to you to build what could be time 1.5s. This is the foundation of all real change. We have a mistaken belief that change comes from fighting against what we don't want. We think we have to destroy the old to make way for the new. But that's not how the architecture of reality works. You can't build a strong house on a piece of land by pretending it's flat when it's actually on a hill. You'll build a crooked house that will eventually collapse. The first step is to accept the reality of the hill. You have to walk it, study the slope, understand the soil. Only then can you design a foundation that works with the hill, making it a source of strength and unique beauty for your home. Your life is that land. The job you lost, the relationship that ended, the limitations you have, that's the shape of your hill right now. Accepting it doesn't mean you like it. It means you're acknowledging the ground you're actually standing on. And true creation, true forward movement, can only ever begin from the ground you're actually on, not the ground you wish you were on. When you live this way, something quiet and miraculous starts to happen. You start to notice the patterns, because you are no longer blinded by resistance. You start to see the connections between things. Coincidences don't feel so random anymore. They feel like little nudges from reality, little signposts pointing you in a direction you couldn't see before. You have a thought about an old friend, and they call you an hour later. You get stuck behind a slow truck, annoyed at first, but then you see it causes you to avoid an accident up ahead. You start to see that reality isn't a chaotic, hostile force. It's a vast, interconnected network that is constantly communicating. It was always communicating. You were just too busy arguing with it to listen. Releasing the struggle is how you learn to listen. It's the difference between shouting your own opinion in an empty room and sitting quietly in a forest, hearing every rustle of the leaves, every bird call, every subtle shift in the wind. One is isolation. The other is connection. And that choice to stop shouting and start listening is available in every single moment. It begins with the smallest things. The spilled coffee, the delayed train, the rainy day. You just stop fighting it. You breathe. And you ask a new question. Given that this is happening, what can I do now? That question is the key that unlocks the door you were pushing against. It reveals that the door was never locked at all. It just needed to be pulled. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments. I am no longer arguing with the rain. Write it as your promise. Nobody